Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer brought to you by Forge College. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. So if you've been following along, you know we just wrapped up the final Capstone build and project delivery lesson, which means we are now officially stepping into the ultimate challenge, the Capstone project RWA-backed applications and USDC payments. This module sits right inside our stablecoins, payments, and real-world assets on Solana course, which itself is a massive pillar of the larger Solana ecosystem DeFi, Oracle's AI, and applied protocols track. We spent a lot of time talking theory, validating parts in isolation, but today in our Capstone architecture and implementation plan explainer, we put all those pieces together. We are designing the ultimate Web3 storefront from the ground up. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're unrolling the master schematics to build our very own Web3 factory. Our agenda covers the component matrix, the checkout flow, the transfer hook bouncer, your implementation game plan, and finally, final checks and handoff. Section 1. The component matrix, meeting the gears of our machine. Let's quickly meet the cast of characters that'll actually bring the storefront to life.
So what exactly are we building here? An RWA storefront architecture is an end-to-end system that perfectly unites Solana Pay USDC payments with a Token-2022 real-world asset, or RWA, proof of concept. Think of it like a bridge. On one side, you've got lightning-fast digital payments using USDC. On the other side, you have physical real-world assets living as tokens on the blockchain. Bringing these two worlds together is basically the holy grail of modern Web3 commerce. We're taking the tangible things people want and combining them with the speed and global reach of decentralized finance.
Now, what's really interesting about this setup is the clean separation of responsibilities across our entire factory floor. It's beautifully compartmentalized, right? You've got the front-end team handling the merchant UI, making sure the user experience is totally flawless. The back-end team, they're on order management and internal plumbing. Your payments integration folks are zeroed in purely on the Solana Pay adapter to catch those rapid USDC transfers. Then, for the heavy lifting, RWA engineering handles the attestation manager. Data teams run the Oracle feeder, and custody operations track the actual physical assets off-chain in the real world. By treating each part as its own independent Lego brick, your teams can build, test, and deploy in parallel without ever stepping on each other's toes.
Moving to Section 2, the checkout flow, the assembly line in action. To make this data flow super concrete, I want you to imagine a customer buying something highly specific. Let's say a tokenized wheel of vintage, slightly stinky cheese. Let's see how our architecture handles this cheesy transaction from start to finish. Here's the first half of our assembly line. Step 1, the customer adds that cheese to their cart, and our back end immediately creates a payment intent. Think of a payment intent like an unpaid digital invoice just waiting for funds to arrive. Step 2, the front end takes that intent and generates a slick Solana Pay QR code, or maybe a deep link for mobile. Step 3, our cheese enthusiast whips out their digital wallet, scans the code, and securely signs the USDC transfer on the blockchain. Boom, the money is moving globally. And here's the second half where the real magic happens. First up, our Solana Pay adapter, which is constantly watching the blockchain, detects that USDC hitting our account and instantly fires a webhook to our backend. Basically a text message saying, hey, the money's here. Next, the backend receives that webhook, marks the cheese order as paid, and triggers the attestation, which is really just a fancy word for a cryptographic certificate of authenticity. Finally, an Oracle acts as a trusted data bridge and legally stamps our off-chain vault records right onto the network. It proves to everyone that yes, this specific wheel of cheese is now sitting in a climate-controlled vault with this buyer's name on it. If you take away absolutely nothing else from this explainer, please remember this golden rule. Separate payment detection from attestation issuance. This is crucial. Keeping these two steps separated is what keeps your checkout lightning fast for the user. The payment adapter is just a quick, stateless watcher. It sees money, it alerts the backend. Meanwhile, the attestation manager can take its sweet time in the background, handling all the complex legal state changes and compliance checks without making your buyer stare at a spinning loading screen.
All right, Section 3, the transfer hook bouncer, enforcing RWA constraints. We're using the powerful Token-2022 standard here, and its absolute coolest feature is the transfer hook. Picture this transfer hook as a very strict, no-nonsense VIP bouncer guarding our assets.
This bouncer operates on one strict mandate. Allow transfers only when an on-chain RW attestation account references a valid off-chain custody record. This is the absolute anchor tying on-chain token movement directly to off-chain legal custody. It acts as the ultimate policy enforcement point. So if someone tries to send their tokenized cheese to a friend, the bouncer steps in, checks the on-chain metadata, and verifies that the physical custody record actually matches up perfectly before letting the transaction through. No proof, no transfer.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the bouncer checks the math. On one side, you have the transfer amount, how many tokens the user wants to move. On the other, the available amount explicitly verified in physical custody. If someone tries to sell 3 wheels of cheese, but the vault record shows they only hold 2, the bouncer blocks the transaction instantly. You literally cannot transfer more tokens than the available amount secured in custody. It's a foolproof, automated safeguard against overspending, double counting, or any malicious supply manipulation. It ensures the blockchain always reflects physical reality.
So, Section 4, your implementation game plan, the construction schedule. I know this looks complex, but we're going to break it down into a highly manageable construction schedule right now.
Here are the 5 exact milestones derived directly from our gap analysis. Milestone 1 is all about the payment intent and Solana Pay integration. Milestone 2 tackles the Token-2022 attestation and that transfer hook bouncer. Milestone 3 brings in the Oracle feeder and custody integration. Milestone 4 handles the reconciliation service and webhooks. And finally, Milestone 5 is your staging deployment and end-to-end tests. You aren't building this all at once, you know. You're pouring a solid foundation and stacking the blocks methodically in a perfect prioritized sequence, designed to de-risk the project at every step.
Now, speaking of that foundation, we have to start with Milestone 1. Why number 1? Because it is the absolute fastest path to validate real payments and test your reconciliation scenarios. By getting that Solana Pay checkout working first, you can immediately start piping real transaction data through your system. That makes testing all the complex, downstream real-world asset logic vastly easier, because you're dealing with live, verified payment states right out of the gate.
Here's a quick pro tip from Milestone 4. Make your webhooks idempotent, which is really just a fancy engineering term that means if your server accidentally receives the exact same webhook message twice, maybe due to a network hiccup, it won't process the payment twice. Because let me tell you, as much as our customer loves their vintage cheese, a system glitch that accidentally gives them 2 wheels for the price of 1 is going to be a very expensive, very stinky mistake for your merchant backend. Always plan for duplicate events.
All right, bringing it home with Section 5, final checks and handoff, tying it all together. Let's see how this builds up to a rock-solid production-ready system.
Milestone 5 isn't just another step, it is a strict, unyielding gate. You must tie every single security and compliance control to a concrete, automated acceptance test in your staging environment. Signature verification, attestation lifecycles, webhook replays, all of it must be thoroughly validated. Absolutely no deployment happens until all of these tests pass with flying colors using real testnet USDC. Why? Because comprehensive automated testing is exactly how we as developers sleep soundly at night when building high-stakes financial infrastructure. You want your code breaking in staging, never in production.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative engineering puzzle to chew on. If your Oracle feeder goes offline during a massive spike in RWA trading, how exactly will your reconciliation service handle the dropped webhooks? Will your system gracefully pause, or are you going to create a massive backlog? Think deeply about how you design that failsafe. This architecture sets us up perfectly for our next lesson, where we'll roll up our sleeves and actually implement the front-end checkout flow. As always, this explainer was proudly made by Forge College. If you want to dive deeper, master these exact Web3 topics, and get hands-on with the code, please head over to forge.college. Keep building, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.